Research tells us that creativity, and that's what we're about for those type of students, flourishes in a unique kind of social environment. It's one that's stable and secure, but yet it has to be flexible and broad-minded. One of the myths that the research shows, and we've learned over the last 7 years, is the myth that creative students like things loose. They like things structured, which gives them security to know that each day will be the same and they can focus their energy on the creative aspects. Their creativity isn't being, or the energy associated with that isn't being soaked up with not having security. So we try to create that environment here for them, and a key pillar of that is our environment and way of operating called earned autonomy. The students have been seeking this pathway themselves. They've been happy and content in most cases in their previous high school, but something was missing. So they're the people who've shown the foresight and the initiative to investigate, find Quacky, investigate it, and then in many cases put a case to their parents. The graduates of Quacky pursue diverse pathways. I've got students who have gone along very specific performance lines. So have applied to NIDA, the National Institute of Dramatic Arts, or the Western Australian Performing Arts Academy. But I have other students who have done chemical. I've got a graduate who's done chemical engineering. I've got students who pursue law and business. I've got students who have done nursing, and all the careers that fit in between those particular areas on a continuum. There is no particular defining career of a Quacky graduate. And I think that is because what we're producing here is we're developing students' way of thinking and their skill sets, and it's their passion and their skill set that'll take them through different careers. I do not see a Quacky graduate having what I would call a traditional career path. I think they will be path makers, and they will take their careers in the areas that stimulate them and where that they can make a positive contribution and be creative in their own way. A graduate I'd like to talk about that tells us so much about the thinking that is typical of a student at Quacky and what they can possibly go on to do is a student called Zani. Zani was in our foundation cohort. She was our top academic student, she was the top student in film, and she was the top student in visual arts. And I remember talking to Zani when the QTAC applications were putting in, and I noticed that she'd put in to do engineering. And stereotypically I asked her, I said, well, did you come to the wrong academy? Should have you been studying chemistry and physics because they're prerequisites for engineering? And she looked at me and she said, Mr. Jost, you don't get it. She said, I can learn chemistry and physics and I've got that plan to do within the first 6 months of university. She said, I came here to learn how to be a really good problem solver and think differently. And my film and my visual art taught me that because they're about problem solving and narration of that problem solving. So I learned a lot. I caught up with Zani about 12 to 18 months later and I asked her how she was going in her engineering, and she told me that she was now specialising in chemical engineering. And I made the comment to Zani, I said, well, Zani, in what area of chemical engineering? And she said, water. Foolishly, in retrospect, I said to her, well, what's there not to know about water? And she answered me, Mr. Jost, where to put it where they don't have it.